stepping into my first CPO role was a mixture of the anxiety of the responsibility you've just taken on, and realising the enormity of that, coupled with absolute excitement.
So I can distinctly remember that first step up into a CP role, and I can remember how I felt, because the transition is really significant. I think the weight of responsibility is really significant, because you're no longer in a position where someone more senior than you has ultimate accountability for HR. It's you, you're it.
First of all, you still you feel like an imposter too. You question yourself so much, and I think actually everyone's questioning themselves, and you realise that you're not alone in there. That was a really scary time in knowing your worth and making sure that your voice is heard.
The step up to Chief People Officer, I think, was the biggest step up in my career. My step up was within a brand new business that I'd not worked for before. So there was a big unknown there, and I had to spend time really getting to know the business, its commercials, how it operated, how the people behaved, the culture.
As a CPO, you've really got to raise your game in terms of stakeholder relations, understanding businesses, internal and external, as well. How you lead the team, because I think when you're going in there, whilst the business is still going, a lot of things pause, and I think from an HR perspective, a lot of things do pause. The team sort of pauses because it's waiting for you to sort of say, right, what direction should we take?
I can remember I felt an enormous sense of pressure to be perfect from day one, to be utterly competent and capable, fully confident, even though I was experiencing things for the first time, and these were things that had significant consequences in terms of how I managed them. And at the time, I really didn't feel I had anywhere I could go to for support or for advice or for guidance, particularly because one of my challenges at the time was building the HR function from scratch as well. So yeah, it was quite isolating, quite scary.
It's quite a lonely position, and you need to ensure that you've got the right people around you that both you can trust, but also who are going to tell you it as it is. Being able to develop those trusted relationships is very important, and also having the resilience to be able to deal with that aspect of being lonely is a big one. I mean, I'll be very honest, when I got to my first 6 weeks in my role, I was thinking, do I really want this?
So I think it's sort of trying to sort of, whilst you're quickly making sure that you sort of develop up your capability and knowledge in the gaps, also making sure that you really think about, actually, why have I been hired? What am I really great at? And this is why, this is what I bring to the party. And I think that really stood me in good stead.
Of course, I want to do what's right for the organisation, but I always want to do what's right for people. And if you don't have an executive or a CEO that aligns with that, then it can never go down well. And I think what going back again is making sure that you're aligned and that you've got the same values.
Influencing just becomes such a big, influencing with a capital I, because you're both having to often go into roles, in my case, where they might be the first HR leadership roles at the top table that they've experienced. You're carving out sort of strategy, but you're also having to influence the hearts and minds of people that haven't been used to people being in that sort of discussion at that level.
It's unbelievably liberating to be in a position where you can have, impact and influence across an organisation. And I remember loving being part of those ExCo conversations where you're participating in the creation of company visions and strategies, and then of course authoring the people strategy and overseeing its implementation. I really loved the fact that you start to go beyond your functional expertise, and you start to develop your commercial capabilities as an enterprise-wide leader, not just a functional leader. So I loved all of that. So I think in summary, it was probably challenging and stimulating in equal measure.